All right, welcome back to the Heat or Highside Racing League's post-season show. We are continuing our interviews, and next up we have that guy.
Here we go.
Now, that guy. What do you think of this season?
Overall, I would say this past season was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good racing, super competitive. For me personally, it was a fairly consistent season up until the end. Had a couple of inconsistent finishes, but overall, I would say a really fun season with a lot of intense racing.
All clear.
That it was. It was pretty intense, especially up there in the pack. Let's talk about your dominating early season. Like,
Outside. All clear. All clear.
how'd you do it? Like,
I think,
Outside.
yeah, the regular season, I can't even remember how many times I won now. 3 different times during the regular season. And I don't think I finished worse than 4th. I think it was just kind of doing my best to stay out of trouble and not push too hard. I felt like there were a couple of times early on that I could have pushed for a win and then didn't. And then there were some races where either other people were pushing for a win and there were multiple wrecks, and I kind of seized those opportunities, especially at Las Vegas and Darlington. So I think just trying to ride around and stay out of trouble was
All clear, driver.
how I found a lot of success early this season.
so you're saying there's kind of the trick to it is keeping a balance, would you
Hold
say?
steady wheel.
Yeah, trying to know when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. That line's hard, but sometimes not being aggressive pays off.
Yeah, that it does.
Another car out there.
Let's talk about the playoffs. How do you feel your performance was? You know, an in-depth analysis of the playoffs. How was it for you?
I was pretty excited for the playoffs because
Hold your line.
I really like Kansas, Dover, and Atlanta. I have pretty decent setups and I like running them. So Kansas, it was nice to get that win right off the bat. Kind of took a lot of the pressure off for the rest of the postseason. I would say Atlanta definitely did not go my way. I definitely felt like I had the fastest car, but just could not get my way to the front. Every time I got up there, I either wrecked myself
Outside.
or got myself in a bad position and ended up finishing last at Atlanta. And then Dover,
Clear.
for whatever reason, I couldn't find my rhythm and just had kind of a average finish. And Dega's always a crapshoot. You can first or last. It's all kind of is up to however the dice roll kind of thing. And I ended up drawing the short end of a straw
All clear.
there as well. Got caught up in a last-second wreck, and I think finished second to last. So, and then Homestead isn't my strongest track, and I felt like I couldn't get my setup right or my rhythm right there, but was still pretty proud of staying at least close to the front of the field.
All around.
Yeah, I believe you finished 4th there, was it?
Yeah,
And
Outside. Hold your line.
I mean, definitely
Clear.
being out there racing alongside you, it looked like, yeah, as we got into that longer run, you were starting to fall off a little bit or trying to hold it down the track. But Homestead is pretty tricky.
yeah. I definitely think my car was set up too loose for me at least.
Getting that early win at Daytona and securing your place in the playoffs. Did that change your outlook on the rest of the season, the regular season? Did it affect your performance? Were you more laid back about it, or did you still, feel like you needed to race hard?
First off, duds, let's get the facts right. I finished second at Daytona.
Oh, my mistake. I thought Daytona was your first win. My bad.
No, I'm only kidding. That's a Kevin Harvick joke.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
he said that last like. Anyway, no,
Yeah,
my first
I
win
wasn't there for
was
that.
at Vegas. But I felt pretty comfortable going in. Normally, I think I had like 3 top 3s before I got my first win, and before I even got my first win, I felt pretty comfortable that I had a top 6 car. So I wasn't sweating bullets too much, but definitely after that first win at Vegas, I felt pretty good.
So you just kind of coasted after that, or just?
Well, no, I felt like I had a car that could win at Darlington and definitely Michigan because those are two tracks that I really enjoy. So I pushed pretty hard there and ended up getting W's. So there were other tracks like going to Watkins Glen. I was just riding around because I knew that there was no use in pushing something and ruin somebody else's race.
Now, going into the next season, what are you looking forward to? Do you have any, and looking back at this season, is there anybody that, like anybody that you're kind of button heads with, anybody that you're happy with, and, who needs to look out for you in the next season, and what are your plans?
Well, first things first, I'm really proud of Team 69 engines, getting 11 out of those 15 wins. Cobalt had it dialed in, and I had it dialed in the first half of the season. Then Alonso, of course, had the second half of the season dialed in. So a good showing for our little team. But no, next year I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I try to race everyone the same. I don't think I have any beef with anyone that I know of, or I think everyone's pretty much in good standing. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, trying to be consistent and get the most points, hopefully finish first at whatever the last race is for next season.
Yep, and I think we'll still be looking out for you up near the front of the pack this next season. Definitely still a huge contender going into the next season. So thank you for taking time to share with us, and I hope to see you on the track, beside me, or, hopefully in the rearview mirror, but
Yeah,
might not be that way.
It's good talking to you, Duds. Can't wait to finish ahead of you next season.
We'll see about that. This has been Is That Guy 69, one of our contenders in the playoffs. And I am your host, The Dud. Thank you for tuning in.